Hello everyone, Carlos Flores, back on basics. So, before we begin this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so you can get notified of any new video that comes on board. If you have a topic, suggestion, feedback, comment, or if you want me to give you my take on any topic, put it in the comment section and I'll be happy to do so. If you want to connect with me on social media outlets, on Facebook, you can search for me, Carlos Flores Jr. On Instagram, on X, and on Threads, you can type in at Back on Basics. So, let's talk about motivation. Let's talk about effort, right? Let's talk about focus. Let's talk about life balance. Those things are pretty powerful, ladies and gentlemen. But you know what? It doesn't mean that things are perfect. To me, in my opinion, perfection, it's a state of mind. It's great, right? When you get 100% on your test, or when you play a game and you complete that game in a single way that you clear the whole board, but still not perfect. To me, is something that you have to put effort in. You have to do things. You have to put into work every single day. You have to make sure that you're focused on your goal. You have to make sure, and you have to be realistic that it may not be perfect. And more than likely, or I'm going to tell you, it's not, because again, perfection is a state of mind. I think that we tend to psych ourselves into goals, into new activities, into everything, thinking that things are going to be perfect. That if you do this, that if you do A, B, and C, everything's going to align. But a lot of the times, due to your life experiences, the way you perceive the world and others, the way that you deal with things, the way that you handle, right, emotional dysregulation, or the way that you handle life balance in general, it's not the same, ladies and gentlemen. There is no other person other than you that will see things through your eyes, through your lenses, through your life experiences, through your setbacks, because we're all different. I mean, yeah, we have common themes, common things that we have, but overall, we're different. Right? Our life experiences are different. Remember, I gave you this example before. Let's say a mom's going to give birth to twins, ladies and gentlemen, twins, right? You know, right? Twins, for the most part, they have similar genetic makeup. They have different things that are similar, right? But look, I'll give you an example. So, mom is about to give birth and gives birth to the first baby, right? So the baby gets swaddled, gets clean, and then gets put in mom's chest, right? So that way they can feel the warmth, so they can smell that scent, that the mom scent, and so. But then, a minute or 2 or 3 or 8 later, the second baby comes. Ladies and gentlemen, what has just happened? The first baby has already been prepared, so that way it starts bonding with mom right away, right? Right? The other twin sibling now gets clean, gets all. Let's say everything is the same. But guess what? When that second baby's ready to be with the mom already has another sibling, has the first baby with her, and they're bonding, they're connecting, ladies and gentlemen. I get it, right? It doesn't mean that one is better than the other. It just means that life experiences are your own, ladies and gentlemen. The first baby that's with mom already has bonded, has smelled the scent, has talked, has probably cooed and think that the second baby now, the mom has to move the first one so that way you can take the other one, or maybe an uncle takes it, or maybe dad takes it, or and holds them so that way mom can finish bonding with one. Life is different, ladies and gentlemen. It's not perfect. Even if you think it's perfect, it's just a state of mind. It's just a state of being. We have to aim for motivation, focus, determination, and life balance, right? We're not focusing on perfection, because if we focus on perfection, then we're gonna fall short, because we're gonna give up, because we're gonna say, "Oh, I'm not gonna make it, so it's not perfect, so I'm giving up," right? How many times have you done that? I can tell you, I've done that several times, because I think that it's not perfect anymore, and I thought it wasn't perfect anymore, so I give up. I can tell you stories, and I think I will tell you stories, not in this video, but I'll tell you stories, because I've been through many degrees, many things, but the thing is, some of them were not cracked up to, it wasn't what I was thinking. It wasn't my perfect field. I loved it. I loved the education part of it, but a lot of the times it wasn't the perfect field. There was no perfect field, right? You gel, you mold yourself, you get trained into a field that you appreciate, that you put into work, right? That you help others, that you're humble, that you do the things that you do. But perfection to me is just a state of mind. So again, right? You can also accept this or reject this. It's okay, ladies and gentlemen. We all have opinions. See the difference again? That means that you and I, if you don't agree with me, that's okay. It just means that we're different. It means that it's not perfect. It means that nobody's following everybody else, right? You have to make decisions. You have to be determined. You have to be focused. You have to have the mind, body, and emotional balance. You have to have that motivation to move forward. But keeping in mind that things are not perfect, and don't set the standard to perfection. If you set the standard to perfection, you're going to fall way short, or you're going to give up, or you're going to say, this is not for me anymore. Believe me, I've said that maybe 2 or 3 times in my life, and I regret it, because the way it should be like a funnel, ladies and gentlemen. When you're thinking about career, when you're thinking about college, when you're thinking about going back to school, when you're thinking about doing the work that you want to do, start with a funnel. Little by little, start making it shorter and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until maybe 1 or 2 you have. You keep on looking at both of them. You keep on saying, okay, this is what I like from this potential job. This is what I like for this potential job. What do I want to do? What do I want to focus on? Ladies and gentlemen, it's up to you. It's not by chance. It's not because it's perfect. It's not because the job is perfect, because the job is never perfect either. Things are not perfect. You have to focus on that, because if you're aiming for perfection, you're gonna fall short. So subscribe to my YouTube channel at Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so you can get notified of any new video that comes on board. Again, right? I get it. I would love to have a perfect job, a perfect way of a perfect income, a perfect everything. But life doesn't give you that. So what you do is this, right? You ask. I mean, again, you know your worth. You ask what you're worth, and whatever they give you, you adapt. Whatever you do, you adapt. You adapt, and know that you don't have to be perfect to get to where you want to get to. Back on Basics.